The Honda Prelude was one of the first three models Honda had in the United States. We had the Accord, the Civic, and the Prelude. And it existed for 5 generations from the late 70s to the early 2000s. And then it's been quiet for 25 years after this 5th generation Prelude hit the market and then ended its production. That is until now. Honda has just revealed the new 2026 6th generation all-hybrid Prelude. This generation Honda is just coming with one powertrain. This is the 2-liter hybrid system that we see from the incredible Civic Hybrid. A maximum of 200 horsepower and 232 pound-feet of torque. It has an automatic transmission. It's direct drive. It's mainly electric driven with this 2-motor hybrid system. And then at highway speeds, the engine can clutch in and then directly drive the wheels alongside of the electric motors. But most of the time, it's electric motor driven, so it'll be silky smooth, especially at lower speeds. Most of the time when the engine's running, it is going to be very quiet, and it's acting mainly as a generator to power the electric propulsion. Now, we don't have fuel economy numbers quite yet, but with this incredibly sleek design, I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be pushing numbers well past of what we have in the Civic Hybrid, which when I tested it, I want to say I got around 46, 48 miles per gallon the last time I reviewed the incredible Civic Hybrid. Of course, it's front wheel drive only here, just like every Prelude that has pre-existed. The second I dropped the hood on this, I knew it was built well. And then Honda told me it's going to be built in Japan, just like the Type R. And also like the Civic Type R, it has the dual access front suspension. It has the same track and width as the Civic Type R. So you're going to be getting the same handling and the same brakes that we see in the Civic Type R. However, the length of this vehicle is a little bit shorter, being that it's a coupe. The wheelbase is a little bit shorter as well. But let's get into the front end styling. This is the Boost Blue paint color. There are 5 paint colors. You can get a red, a blue, a white, which you'll see behind me. That's a new white for Honda. It's a beautiful pearl. And then you also have a black and a gray. All right, so no yellows, no greens, no purples, nothing crazy like that. Every single Prelude is going to have this blue strip. Why? Well, it's because it's hybrid only. All right, typically in other Honda hybrid models, you would see a hybrid logo on the back of the vehicle, maybe some other blue accents here and there. This is a staple on the front of the vehicle, no matter what paint color you're gonna get. This particular model doesn't have any accessories. So we're gonna go ahead to the white model to show you what the front end of that looks like. It's a little bit different. This Prelude's been accessorized quite a bit more than the blue one. This white one has been accessorized with these cool additions to the bumper at the bottom, and it also has different wheels. Check this out. All Preludes are gonna have 19-inch wheels, and these 19-inch wheels have been machine finished. They're all gonna have the Type R Brembo brakes, and all the brakes, to my understanding, are gonna be this blue accented color to let you know that it's also a hybrid to complement those stripes on the front and the back. Back to the stock model, I guess you could say, from the factory. The styling has changed a little bit from the prototypes and the concepts before that had a light bar across the front. I actually like the look of this blacked out garnish here over the light bar. It makes it cleaner looking, in my opinion, and doesn't try to pretend it's being an EV or anything like that. The daytime running lights, absolutely beautiful. They look extremely premium. Bi-LED headlights, of course. And you'll see parking sensors across the front of every Prelude. Every Prelude essentially comes as one trim level. There's just one trim level. So what you see here is what you're going to get from every new Prelude coming in late fall. That's official now. Late fall is when these are going to be hitting dealers. Also, that white one over there had a blacked out Honda badge. It looked quite sick. Here are the Berlina black gloss wheels. These are the stock wheels. The machine finished over there, of course, are an accessory. I actually like the single finish here compared to the machine finish, but let me know which kind of wheel design you guys prefer. Also, these could be optional tires, but the stock ones will be all seasons. These are summer tires. Kind of reminds me of the Civic Si. I wouldn't be surprised if Honda does something like that, you know, optional $200 upgrade or something to get you more performance tires compared to the all-season tires that you get stock. From the side, what a beautiful liftback we have from Honda with this 6th gen Prelude. Now, there's no shark fin antenna on top, completely smoothed out. And unlike all previous generations of Preludes, there is no moonroof here, no sliding glass roof, nothing like that. Honda said they wanted to reduce weight. They wanted to also improve the rigidity and the structure of the vehicle by just having no moonroof option whatsoever. That might come as a bummer to some of you. Some of you will be celebrating that it doesn't have a standard moonroof. Now these door handles are something we've never seen on a Honda that I can think of. We have pop-out door handles. Let me get the key out. I have keys for both of these cars here. I picked the right one. It's complete. Oh, I guess it says B on the back. I could have looked to see blue. You can also lock the handles with a little ridge on the door handle. But if I want to, I have to push and pull out. But if you approach the car, it will pop the door handles out for you. Okay, so it's going to give you some options to open the door. These door handles are maybe some of the fastest I've seen that pop into the door. They pop out real quick. All right, kind of reminds me of that Lexus LC500, which is a very, very good complement. It's one of my favorite cars of all time to see that sort of integration here as well, except these door handles might actually feel better than the Lexus LC500. All right, I know these are not production form, so wait till we get to production, but good, it's a good sign so far with how quality these door handles are. All right, I like this air channeling piece down here. That's stuck around since the prototypes and the concepts. It looks real good. You can see how short the wheelbase is. I don't have official numbers on wheelbase or length. I just know that it's tighter and closer together than a Type R. It's also lower to the ground compared to a Type R as well. But this is a lift back, so let's head out back. All right, the rear styling. Glossy finish, just like we had the glossy finish to the bottom of the front bumper. That blue accent right here as well. No visible exhaust tips. Of course, we have parking sensors to match the ones up front. That classic Prelude font here on the back. And then no Honda logo, but there's the Honda typed out. And it does remind me a little bit of the Prologue that has Honda typed out on the back. This rear spoiler looks a little bit like the prototypes. And of course, it is an accessory you can get on the Prelude. Big light bar in the back, maybe to accentuate the wideness of the vehicle. Some people, it looks a little Prius-like. Some people say it looks a little 911-ish. Looks good. I'm not going to complain. Your turn indicators are right here underneath the rear tail lamps as well. All right. So without further ado, ready to pop it? Let's go. Look at this. Look at this. Enormous. Let's give you guys a better angle. Let's give you a better perspective of how massive this lift back is. All right, do I have the deepest floor here? And the answer is absolutely not. But if it's just 1 to 2 people, which realistically this 2+2 is only going to fit on a regular basis, then you're going to have lots and lots of storage capacity. You could fit probably, depending on how big your golf bag is, minimum of 3 golf bags in the back, maybe more. If you stack them, that's a possibility. You could fit maybe 5. But I mean, why do you need to take that many golf bags? It only seats 2, right? And then you can fold down the other seat because it's like a 60-40 split situation here. I'll go and fold it down. It might run in. Oh, it didn't run into the front seat. That's incredible because the rear seats are really, really low. And we'll get into the back seat here in a little bit. We have nighttime lights. When you pop your lift back here on essentially this 3-door, I'm just really blown away with this opening. It is enormous. It reminds me a little bit, maybe the last vehicle that I had a lift back was like the Kia Stinger that I drove. Okay, so massive opening here. And since there's no shark fin antenna, the antenna is actually built into this massive rear glass. Handles are built in here. Voila. To get into the back seat, notice we have this nice clip here that you can run the seat belt through. Very high quality. Again, reminds me of high-end coupes like the Lexus LC500. I mean that in the highest regard, as you guys know. All right. Now, this vehicle, it doesn't have a single mechanism for moving the seat forward. I don't think it was a very high priority for Honda. Okay, there is a lever back here on the back of the seat, but it doesn't slide forward. And these are completely manual seats. There's no electrification in these seats. All right. To me, I absolutely love that. I do not like motorized seats if I'm not often adjusting them. And let's get into the back to see what that's like. I will say this, I have gotten on the other side. It's easier to get into the vehicle from the passenger side. I mean, that makes sense, right? How many people are going to be getting in this way? Honda, spare no expense here. I have matte pockets on each side. How many crossovers have I been in that omit matte pockets one side or the other? No, they have matte pockets on each side, even though no one's going to be back here more than likely. There are no vents, no USBs. I have a speaker here, a tiny window. And what is headroom like? Well, let's put the seat back up. My kids can sit back here. That's it. I'm slumped down a lot. If I try to sit all the way up, I can't. I physically can't. My shoulder's running into, what would this be, the C-pillar area. And I have a plastic piece here because there's only a two-seater in the back. Plastic piece here, I don't know, you can't really put anything there. And there's no armrests. But there are child latches, you gotta have those, right? So this is like an emergency back row seat. Now, while you look at this door, it might not look that impressive with the materials, kind of basic materials up here, pretty basic Honda. The leather inside here, we have black stitching here, blue stitching here, and then kind of like a bronze stitching below it. They didn't need to do 3 different types of stitching, so it's that small attention to detail, which is quite nice here. Of course, power windows and power side mirrors as well. No auto folding mirrors, but the mirrors do tuck in if you need to park it with tucked in mirrors. These seats are first for Honda. They're asymmetrical. The seat over here, the passenger seat, is actually a little bit more soft, a little bit wider bolstering. I sat in it. To me, it feels pretty much identical compared to the driver's seat. I think it's equally as comfortable in my opinion. We also have this height adjustable headrest. There's a button way down deep inside in there to lower it down. That's a tricky one to get, but we have Prelude embossed on the headrest, nice stitching on it. There's no other Honda or Acura that has these seats. They're fantastic, they're comfortable, I feel like I'm in a really high-end vehicle with how quality they feel. Now, they are manual, both of them. This one does not have height adjustment. Mine has height adjustment, and it can actually go a little bit lower than this seat here, which I prefer to be nice and low in a sports Grand Tourer like this. Also, this design here, Honda says, is inspired by a Honda City Cabriolet. Well, it's made in Japan. Of course, they're gonna inspire it from a vehicle that we never got in the United States. And you know, those cute Honda Cities, some of them also had the Moto Compo in there, which Honda has revived as the Moto Compacto, which I have one at home. So if you guys want to see how that fits in the back of here, it'll have no problems fitting in the back of here, that little Moto Compacto. But let's focus on the cockpit and the materials now. Prelude embossed onto the dash. This dash feels very high quality, almost like a suede, but more durable, I would say. Again, blue stitching here and then a bronze stitching below. If these vents look familiar, well, they should. They have a very similar outline and spacing as what we see in the Integra. All right, and these are no stranger, these high quality clickies. Do you know what? Let's turn the vehicle on. Honda said this is one I can fire on, so I'm gonna fire this one on, and let's have a good time spending time with the new Prelude on the inside. They've kept the triple climate control. Perfect, it's the best in the industry. 2 USB-Cs here, wireless charger, you know, accessory power, 180 watts. 9-inch screen here that we see on other Hondas with a Google built-in. We have a 10-inch screen here, which is customizable, of course. This steering wheel, I want one really bad. It is fantastic. Now there's a little glossy black here that might end up blinding me, as well as a glossy black around the shift or the drive select area, but honestly the steering wheel feels amazing. We have aluminum paddle shifters on the back of this. Honda knows, since we don't have a manual, how to be more engaging with the vehicle. Well, I want to have high quality paddle shifters. Honda gave it to me. Very, very excited to share that these are cool to the touch, aluminum. Now it gives you 7 different levels of regen braking, all right? And you have different drive modes. For example, GT, Sport, Individual, okay? Those are, and Comfort. We do have adaptive dampers, check this out. You have adaptive dampers all the way around for each wheel. All right, so if I go to customize here, you can see if I go to suspension, it lights up the adaptive damper area, so you can choose how stiff you want the vehicle. You can change all these different, engine sound, comfort, right? It'll probably turn off all, or very little noise enhancements from this engine, okay? So it's cool that you can customize this. I'm a big fan, especially in more of an enthusiast focused car like this. All right, so in these standard modes, so I go back to the drive mode select, Sport, GT, and Comfort, your paddle shifters are going to be regen braking, 7 different levels, almost one pedal driving, Honda says. So I can't wait to test it and report back to it. But Honda's 4 or 5 different levels that they have on things like the CR-V is pretty good. So I'm excited to test those additional levels here. Press Sport Plus, engine fires on immediately. The 2-liter fires on, moves the car a little bit. If the door was closed, I probably would have noticed it last. And speaking of moving the car, when I move in the car doesn't move. This car feels like it's bolted to the ground with very little suspension. What does that mean? Well, it's going to handle great. It's going to be a corner carver. And it just feels so quality. You sit in this, it doesn't bounce around or move around. There's no creaks or rattles. Like, I literally cannot move the car, hardly at all. It feels like it's made out of granite. It's incredible. Just the sense of quality that I have in this vehicle. Anyways, all right, so you put it into Sport Plus mode. Getting back to this, all new feature for Honda in their hybrids. This will be coming to more Honda hybrids. Okay, so this S Plus mimics an 8-speed auto, and it mimics fake shifts really, really fast, really engagingly. All right, if that's a word, engage with high engagement. So the paddle shifters go from regen paddle shifters to select your gear paddle shifters with fast shifts, fixed gears. All right, so it'll feel like you're rowing through a real gearbox instead of what this has, which is a direct drive setup. All right, huge fan of that. Cannot wait to test it. And from what I've seen of other people driving it in Japan, it looks like a feature that is going to really make Honda unique with their electrified hybrids. All right, so again, let's close this door. Feels like a vault, honestly. No creaks or rattles. The vehicle barely moves. The door sounds so solid. The comfort in here is incredible. These are some of the best seats I've ever sat in. I wish I had this as a computer chair, Honda. Some manufacturers get in the work of computer chairs. This is maybe the most comfortable seat I've sat in ever, or in a very long time. So they crushed that. They've also crushed everything in this vehicle, from the design to the interior, to the exterior, the quality, auto-dimming rearview mirror. I have a sunglasses holder up top. Oh, I forgot to mention aluminum pedals as well. Oh yeah, the window here, it's single pane glass. So we'll have to see how quiet. Hopefully it's much quieter than your standard Civic is on the highway, right? This is labeled as a Grand Tourer vehicle. Look, we have a GT driving mode, right? So the comfort is here, but what is the noise going to be when we drive on the highway? I'm not quite sure, but like I said, the vehicle feels very quality. I'm sure it's going to be very comfortable for longer trips. After 25 years, the Prelude is back offering new technology, and that's something the Prelude always brought in, whether it was VTEC, 4-wheel steering, torque vectoring, front wheel drive, and it always had a moonroof. It brought in a moonroof. Pretty much all that is gone here with this new Prelude, but it is offering something new we've never seen before, giving us a hybrid powertrain, which the market is thirsting for here in 2025 going into 2026, but a hybrid that will be fun to drive and more engaging than we've ever seen before potentially. I'll give you more details, pricing, as we get closer to launch date, late fall. I cannot wait to drive this new 3-door Prelude, liftback, whatever you want to call it. It's back. The 2+2 design is back, and it's great to have a coupe back in Honda's lineup.